Hey, you have questions about the Affordable Care Act, ACA Obamacare, on your small business? Well, we've gone to one of the experts from the Small Business Majority. He's the Vice President of External Affairs from the Small Business Majority, Rhett Buttle. Rhett, welcome to KTRS here in St. Louis via Skype.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
When are you coming to town?
I actually just got back from St. Louis, but we also have an office in St. Louis where we have two folks who are, believe it or not, traveling around the city teaching folks about what the Affordable Care Act means.
Okay, what are you telling well, let me ask you this question. What's the number one question you're getting from small businesses when it comes to the Affordable Care Act?
Yeah, the number one question we get is, what are we required to offer coverage? And the answer to that question is, if you're below 50 full-time.
Are you seeing businesses not hire people or keep them part-time to stay under that 50 threshold?
That's not really the case. We haven't been seeing that. There's been a lot of conversation about that, sort of more on a political level. But on a practical level, business owners really are just trying to figure out what the law means for them. And, we're getting to that point in the year where folks are starting to think about, okay, what are my new insurance options for next year? And so we're in this education period right now, but we haven't seen that sort of, pull back on hiring.
How many companies below 50 employees is quite a lot? I suspect, and you have the numbers here, how many companies, what percentage of companies offer insurance to their employees under 50? In other words, how many, if I work for a company that has under 50 employees, what percentage of those companies have health insurance for their people?
I actually don't have the exact number on that. What I know is that above 50, the vast majority already offer. And that's one of the reasons when the law was created, 50 was sort of chosen as the point. The other thing we know is that generally when you get about 20 employees, that's when you start offering coverage. What we do know is that the vast majority of small businesses are under 10 employees. And so that means that there is a significant amount of them that don't offer coverage. The other piece we have to remember is that 22 million of the 28 million small business owners in our country are self-employed entrepreneurs, which means that they don't have employees at all, but these folks don't work for a large business, so they don't get coverage from a large business, and they're very much small business owners, they're very much entrepreneurs, and so those folks have never really had a lot of options before, and this law does create new opportunities for them as entrepreneurs to get coverage for the first time.
Rhett, if you're a company, small business company, and you offer health insurance, how much is your health insurance going to change because of the Affordable Care Act?
Well, your health insurance isn't going to change a ton, but there are going to be new options for you. One of the things that's important to know about the law is that it does require that there are new standards in the law, and a lot of these things include prevention services, ambulatory services, things that you and I think should be probably in any health insurance plan, but a lot of these services weren't in plans before. And so now small business owners will be able to get those plans for the first time. In addition, they'll be able to get a tax credit actually for being able to get these plans and also offer it to their employees.
I have heard a number of small business owners who say they're waiting for the other shoe to drop because they're getting their yearly premiums from their insurance people, and they're afraid that these rates are going to go up 15, 20, 25%, 30%.
Well, what's really important to know is, we're hearing a lot right now about the open enrollment period for individuals, but when you're a small business owner, you actually can renew your plan at the end of every month. And so a lot of small business owners are trying to figure out what their plans are going to look like for next year, but they actually have options. And a lot of folks are still really waiting to see, what are the new plans going to look like in this new marketplace. For the first time, small business owners are going to have this marketplace that is going to allow them to pool together, much like a large business has had in the past, and be able to share costs, use economies of scale. And so a lot of folks are waiting to see what are my prices going to be in this new marketplace. And they can actually see some of the costs now in their counties online and sort of start, looking at those options.
We're hearing that individuals are getting letters from their insurance people that are saying this policy you've had is no longer allowed, no longer legal, no longer relevant. This policy is going away. You must go to these other policies. How many small business owners are getting that same letter over their insurance that they give to their employees?
Mm-hmm. Well, the first thing that's important to know is that the only way that plans are no longer allowed is if an insurance company has made a change. So the plans were actually grandfathered into 2010, But if the insurance companies made a decision to change their plan between 2010 and 2012, then they have to update their standards to the new standards under the Affordable Care Act. We're seeing some of this in the small group market, not as much in the individual market. But like I said, 22 million self-employed folks out there who are small business owners, who are entrepreneurs. But we really can't compare the old market of the past to the new market of the future, which provides new opportunities, new tax credits for business owners and individuals. It's a completely different system.
But are businesses getting letters saying that, hey, the insurance you provided to your employees is no longer relevant? I guess are they grandfathered in as well?
Some of their plans are grandfathered in. The vast majority of this is happening in the individual market, and it's about 5% of the population. And that doesn't mean all of those folks are receiving letters. What those new letters also say is that there's new options available to you in the new marketplace, and there's new tax credits that you're available for. So it's much, much more a case sort of in the individual market, in the small group market. It doesn't mean that the small group market isn't subject to it, but we're not seeing the same sort of attention where it's happening more in the individual marketplace.
Rhett Buttle is with us. He's Vice President of External Affairs for Small Business Majority. Rhett, talk about these tax credits that small businesses get for a moment.
Sure. So these tax credits actually went into effect in 2010, and a lot of small business owners still don't know about them, but they're available to small businesses who have under 25 employees. And from years 2010 to 2013, they can cover up to 35% of the premium cost. One of the things that's very exciting about the tax credit is that actually in 2014, it goes up to 50%. So for a small business owner who really struggles to offer coverage, these tax credits can really save them some cash for wanting to do what they've always wanted to do, which is offer their employees affordable coverage for them and their families.
So you're telling me that as a small business under 25 employees, they'll get a tax credit of 50% of their health care costs to help subsidize they're buying health insurance for their employees.
Exactly. So part of what this law does is levels the playing field for small business. And small business owners in the past have been really disadvantaged as it relates to big business in terms of offering coverage. And when they were talking about how to create the law and make the field more level for small business, part of what they heard from small business owners is we could really use a tax credit. And so a tax credit was put into this law to help incentivize employers who want to do the right thing by themselves and their employees and offer health insurance.
Are there tax credits for companies that have employees from 25 to 50 employees?
There are no, so it's under 25 full-time employees. So there are not tax credits above the 25 threshold.
Gotcha.
And really, as I said before, the vast majority of businesses really are in that, small businesses are in that 10 and under range. And so the tax credit actually does sort of hit the vast majority of businesses in our country.
Rhett, how do people find out more information?
Yeah, the best way to find out more information is if you're a small business owner, please visit our website, smallbusinessmajority.org. I also know a lot of folks know about healthcare.gov. Not only can you go there to enroll, but there's just a lot of information on that website, www.healthcare.gov. And I'll give you one more resource. We have www.healthcarecoverageguide.org. And we actually have a site just for folks in Missouri. It's a Missouri-specific website with Missouri-specific facts and figures, and we'd love to have folks check it out.
And you have 2 offices here in St. Louis?
We do. We have 2 folks in St. Louis, and we also have another office in Missouri. And so we are traveling to chambers of commerce. We'll meet with small business owners individually, and we're trying to get the word out and help folks understand what their new opportunities are under the healthcare law.
Rhett Buttle via Skype, and we'll put this up so people can watch this, and we'll send this to you so you can get it out as well. Vice President of External Affairs for Small Business Majority, joining us via Skype this morning. Rhett, thanks for checking in. Have a good day.
Hey, thanks for having me. You have a great day as well.
8:30, Big 550.